Eremos is more than a name. It's a way of life. It's our sanctuary, our escape from the noise, and our connection to the deeper meaning of our lives. It's about finding joy in the outdoors, seeking growth, and leaving the world a better place than we found it. Welcome to Elevate and Explore, a podcast where we dive into the beauty of nature, self-discovery, and the endless possibilities that come with living intentionally. Welcome to our journey. Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Baker.
I'm Ryan Bailey.
And this is the Elevate and Explore podcast. Thanks for joining us again. Tonight we're going to dig into a little bit about mindset, accountability, and creating an impact, whether on ourselves or on other people or a community. So let's talk a little bit about mindset.
Yeah, it's an honor to sit here with Mr. Positivity himself. You know, we've mentioned a few times now of just the amount of positivity that you have, but I think it goes without saying that there's a lot of people that don't have that or don't have that type of person and don't see that. So, you know, myself, I often will get into a negative mindset or a oh woe is me type mindset, or sometimes I just, you know, kind of space out and I don't see all the great blessings and opportunities I have in front of myself. And if I could shed some light on this, I think it's a great topic of how do you get there? How does one pick yourself up from every day is bad, every day is something bad's happening to me, or I don't have it as great as I could have it. And not necessarily comparing yourself to others, but you see yourself where you want to be in a couple of years. You have this vision of a better life. You think you could attain something. How do you get there? And you know, I would tell you that in just the past couple of weeks, your positive messages, positive videos, you know, you spend 10 seconds on each one of those videos of just sharing a clip of, you know, negative mindset, accountability, or creating this better image for yourself. And I think sharing that with others is going to be impactful for ourselves and many more.
100%. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that struggle with negativity in their life. You know, like you said, you know, don't have someone to talk to, just can't get out of their own head and just constantly think down. I've met a lot of people like that. It's tough to see, and you know, I feel for them. You know, I've had points in my life where, you know, everything always looks down, and it's tough to look and see, you know, I'm not where I want to be. You know, life is shit right now. Just things aren't going the way I wanted to. You know, but you gotta keep your head up and look towards, you know, things will get better. There's always ups, there's always downs. But you gotta remind yourself that, you know, ups come after downs. You gotta learn, you know, why you're down, what's happening while you're down. Take from that, learn from that, so you can make the ups better. You know, grow from your downs. Be positive, think positive, surround yourself by positive people. You know, if you don't really have someone in positive in your life, go find some sort of community. Get on Facebook, get on TikTok. You know, just search for uplifting videos. So the other day on TikTok, I saw this video of this guy. He was talking about how he's the only one left in his family. You know, he has nobody. You know, all that and all these struggles, and it went viral. I watched it go viral from, you know, a couple thousand views over the course of a couple hours. It went to, you know, million some views, and just he had this huge outpouring of people just reaching out, you know, saying you matter, you know, you're not alone. So there's a lot of people out there that struggle, that just don't know how to get out of the hole. With social media nowadays, you know, yes, it's bad for a lot of things, but there's a lot of people out there that care, that'll you know, help you through your struggles.
I think that's, you know, I had a thought on my mind before you said that, and that inspired another one. Is there are more people out there that are just kind, generous, and care about human life and human, you know, involvement than you're led to believe. I've lived it, where you could look back on, say, a period of time, and you can think of all the people you knew during that time and how miserable they were, how spiteful some of them could have been, how hateful some of them could have been, very derogatory, very just outlash, aggressive type people that you just really don't want to be around. And you get this image that that's how all people are. And then you say, that's not the type of person I want to be around. I want to be around somebody who's happy and uplifting and inspiring and very outgoing. And when you say that that's the type of person you want to be, or that's the type of person you are, you will attract more people like that. So that, self worth or self understanding can help attract others. And not only that, but the previous comment is everything in life is temporary. There is no sense in being upset over things long term. I tell you, every day you get one bad phone call, or a meeting doesn't go the way you want it to, or great examples. You forgot to take off an auto subscription on a bank account, and now you've got a couple $100 that you realize you spent on something, and you just be, oh, these bastards, which is my own fault, but it's not something to get down at. There's always a chance to make more money. There's always a chance to go out and meet new people, but there's never more time to love yourself. There's never more time that you get to spend with family. There's never more time that you get to spend with friends, and it's temporary. So using it, I think you made the comment the other day of, would you rather just wake up and be in a good mood because you can, or would you rather wake up and be in a bad mood because you can? And you wake up some mornings, you're sore and tired from the hard day's work before, or you wake up some mornings because you don't feel good, your back hurts, your knees hurt, and it's like, that's okay. It's going to hurt tomorrow, but I'm still going to be in a good mood, and I'm going to do something about it. Go eat right, go drink some water, go for a walk, go enjoy sunshine. A lot of these things that we talk about being out in nature may or may not be the immediate answer for medication, but use that at your discretion. Never heard somebody complain having good fresh air and sunshine versus sitting cramped up in an office or busting their butt doing something for somebody else.
100%. Yeah, and everything you just said, it all comes down to choice. Being happy is a choice. Being sad is a choice. Waking up and being miserable is a choice. Waking up and saying today's going to be a great day is a choice. You got to just, yes, sometimes there's underlying mental things, challenges that people go through that it inhibits that a little bit. But I think for most folks, just a simple dose of just saying, hey, today's going to be a good day. Stand in the mirror and look at yourself and just give yourself a smile. You'll be amazed at, how that can send little shivers through your body and just change your mindset, even if it's just for a little bit. I urge everybody to do that. Stand in front of the mirror once in a while and say, I'm a fantastic person. I'm a good person. Today is going to be a great day. I love myself. And, a lot harder. Of it.
That's harder for some than it is, but it's
worthwhile. Yeah, absolutely.
It takes some courage to do.
Yeah. It took me, that was something my grandpa always told me. He used to say, every morning he'd stand in front of the mirror and say, I am absolutely, positively fantastic. And I believe he did it. Maybe he didn't do it every day, but I know he did it. And standing in the mirror and staring at yourself is a very challenging thing. I just started doing that last year. I don't do it. I don't do it every day. Maybe I could do it a little more often, but the first time I did it, I was like, what am I doing? This is really freaking awkward. But that really helped me start loving myself more. Just, you look at yourself, you're the only one. You're judging yourself, not judging yourself. All these thoughts and emotions that go through your head by just standing there and staring at yourself. You really learn a lot about yourself.
Just being honest and true to yourself. If you stand in the mirror and you say that I love myself, and you cringe at the thought of it, there's some honesty there. There's something that you don't love about yourself. There's something that's just that doesn't sit right with you, and you are unsatisfied. So, I guess the whole purpose of this podcast, the topic that we chose, is about that of, how do you get into that deeper understanding of who you are, where you want to go, and how are you going to get there? And that power of choice thing is a real fickle beast sometimes. As humans, we are the only creatures, living organisms, that have power of choice. Any deer, fox, wolf, bear, whatever out in the wild, no matter how beautiful and majestic and powerful they are still reliant on instinct. They do exactly what they do every single day. They live to survive, they live to eat, they live to sleep, they live to reproduce, and they live to die eventually. And as humans, that's not our mission. That is not why we're here. We have the power to wake up and say, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to go out and do something fantastic. I'm going to help a person. I'm going to help myself. I'm going to help others around me. I'm going to serve as many people as I can. I'm going to go out and I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to go to the gym. And you can say all these things, but that power of choice is, do you choose to do those things? And the honesty of not loving yourself or being having self-esteem issues or self-doubt is the whole reason that sets us apart from what we choose. In that mind, the self-esteem or anxiety, typically it's the lack of action, the choice of choosing to do something else rather than taking action on the one thing that could change that. And that choice is very easy to live every single day because you don't have to do anything different. It's just almost an instinct. I'm going to complain
you
that
kind of just go on autopilot.
I'm out of shape and I'm overweight and I don't like the way I look. But 30 days, 60 days, 2 years, 3 years down the road, you're in that same boat, and it's because you did not take action. It is because you did not hold yourself accountable. You did not set a obtainable goal, a realistic goal that was something you could work towards. You chose to do something different. You chose to sit where you're at and complain about it. I think we've mentioned earlier that the other day I chose to be negative. I chose to be down. I chose to be miserable. I chose to be upset. And, I didn't have purpose. I didn't have intent. Shake that off, because later that day, I realized all the good blessings I had and all the good things that I'm doing and all the good people around me and all the things that I've accomplished so far are a mere stepping stone in the choice that I chose to be better. I chose to do something different. I chose to take a different path. And we can say accountability in friendship helps, the accountability in ourselves, the little habits that we can change. Eating better is as simple as saying, all right, we're going to stop complicating this. We're going to do the basics that I know are good for me. If it's easy to eat Little Debbie snacks and Red Bulls and gas station hot dogs, that's easy. That's a choice you make. It's just as easy to go out and get some good lean meat, some vegetables, and prepare yourself 5 or 10 meals for the week and eat those rather than the gas station roller dogs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Choices. There's go off of what you're saying about a day-to-day basis. You can wake up and say, I'm going to be fantastic every day, but you also got to be prepared that you're still going to have challenges throughout the day. Something bad's still probably going to happen most days. Someone's going to cut you off, or you're going to get a project in late, or this or that. You get a flat tire. It's okay to, get a little upset here and there, but you can't let it ruin your whole day. Take a minute. Damn it, this sucks. But all right, whatever. Let's move on. Let's go on with our day. Let's go back to being fantastic. It's turning on that ability to accept something bad, but being able to turn it around and look back towards the good. Make that choice to always take the higher road, always look to the positive things.
A great example of this, and I think it relates to both of us very well, and I think it is what really got us here. In our friendship, we went on a mule deer hunt a couple of years ago, and you shot a buck, you shot your first buck, and you were head over heels through the moon. You were on cloud 9. And a few days later that we had the chance to shoot Randy, and everything was picture perfect, and we went to shoot at this deer, and I thought it was perfect as could be, and we ended up getting down there. We couldn't find it. And fast forward, a year or two, same thing comes up. I got cold feet. I went for a walk, and I shot another deer. And I said, he's a good one. And I left him on the mountain because I couldn't, it was getting dark, and I was a couple hundred yards from you and Nick. And I remember going back to camp that night, and you were about as negative as you've ever been, saying, "Oh, I hope you didn't just lose another one. I remember doing this once before. You left one up there. We're never gonna find them." And I think it comes down to some belief in yourself, because I believed. I was like, I smoked the crap out of that thing. I know I hit him. I watched him, and this is a straight up the mountain shot, 600 some yards away, and I was like, I know that rifle's good. I know I'm good. I breathed right. I did my wind calcs. I did my rangefinder. I did my angles. I did everything on the ballistic calculator. I was like, it's done for. And the next morning, we got to the top of that hill, and right there in the snow, 20 yards from where I shot at him, this deer's laying there. And we could have recovered him the night before, but it was just that little bit of self-doubt on my side, and dark, and didn't want to do this in the cold and dark. And we recovered that deer, and I thought, that made, I think I've never been happier when I've harvested a deer like that. And as we talked about this topic tonight, that came to my mind, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good story to share with everybody, because it goes to show not everybody's positive and optimistic, and there's some chances that we have that there's good reason, but at the end of the day, that belief in yourself, and any successful moment is just based on the amount of opportunity and preparation you've put forth, or the amount of preparation you put forth towards the opportunity, rather. And if you prepare, and you put yourself in the right mindset, and you do the right things, you take the right steps, and you believe in yourself, and you've got the right people around you, yeah, you're going to have some upsets and some hiccups here and there, but that's part of it. That's life. Life is not perfect. If you look at anything in life, there's going to be an ugly side, and there's going to be a beautiful side. So choose which one you want to look for.
Yeah. And that's an excellent example of outside doubt. I very well could have, you were very confident in yourself. You were 95% sure you hit it, and you'd go back the next day and find it. Whereas I thought, it was gone, that you would never find it. And, we were up at 10,000 foot elevation, however many miles from the truck. I was like, I don't want to go back there tomorrow. We're never going to find it. I very well could have changed your mind and made you believe that you didn't actually hit it, and we could have never gone back out there, and that deer could have just laid there. It would have been eaten by something else, but we wouldn't have recovered it had you listened to what I had to say. So sometimes you gotta listen to your heart. You gotta trust yourself, believe in yourself. That's huge. Don't let, I just made a video earlier today, don't let other people's negativity or other people's doubt change what you believe in your mind to be true. What you believe is right. The biggest thing you can do is just believe in yourself. If you want something, you can make it happen. If you believe you did the right thing, nobody can tell you otherwise.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we reflect that on our personal lives. We reflect that in the business. It's like, you just put your mind to something and say, this is the absolute. This is what I'm going to do. How am I going to get there? What's the outcome going to be? What could the outcome be? And now you put that power of choice to it, and you say, okay, well, if I don't take the choice, or if I don't take the action against the choice, and I just let it kind of ride, it could be ugly. But if I do all that I can, I do everything to the best of my ability, you surprise yourself on how good things can get. And I say that in any hunting, fishing scenario, or any workplace activity, any business you want to go out and do, just knowing that you're taking the right steps and putting the right action forth with the right people, with the right guidance, with the right mentorship, you can move mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully believe that anybody can do just about anything. Look at all the stories of people who came from absolutely nothing and, moved mountains, made the best possible life for themselves. People who come from great backgrounds too, it doesn't matter what you come from. If you believe in something, you want something, go chase after it. You also got to remember that, there's going to be lots of challenges along the way too, but it's that drive, that belief in yourself that's going to get you through those challenges to, attain that goal. You just got to keep going. You got to have self-discipline. You got to have confidence. You got to have drive. You got to have a reason why. I believe probably one of the biggest things behind anything you can do, which I've kind of found more recently, is a core belief of why you want to achieve this. It's got to be more than just, I'm doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the fame. I'm doing it for the clout, doing it for whatever reason. You got to have a purpose, a core belief purpose that it's going to make the world a better place. It's going to make me a better person. It's going to, make differences in people's lives. I believe, just about anything, you need to have some sort of purpose like that behind what you're doing. And that's only going to help push you further.
It's that ultimate the servitude of it, of serving and supporting others. And, a great example is there's many of grown men who, let themselves go, and they don't work out, they don't eat right, they just live that life. And, they get to be 50, 60 years old and they say, oh, I can't do this because I'm out of shape. And, you think about it and it's like, okay, well, you get to be that age and it's hard to pick up 15, 20 pounds. That doesn't matter if it's a cinder block or a hammer or a bag of feed, or what if it's your grandchild? What if it's,
Yes.
your niece, your nephew, and you put yourself in that position where you're out of shape and now you can't, that's one of those moments that you should look forward to. And if you got any amount of drive to you, that should be one of those examples of the only reason you're doing anything for is, what's that moment like when you can't pick up your grandchild, but how are they going to live their life if they see that expectation?
Yeah. So there's I'm so glad you brought that up. There's this awesome video that came, or it was a commercial, and it was floating around social media too. But it's this older guy. He's in his 50s or 60s, and the beginning of the video, it's him trying to lift up this kettlebell, like a 50-pound kettlebell. And, the neighbors are watching him, and daughter comes over at one point saying, you can't do that. You can't do that. And then at the end of the video, there's a Christmas tree in the background. He walks to the front door, opens the door, in comes his daughter, and then his granddaughter comes running down the steps. And they go over to the Christmas tree, and he bends down. She picks up a star, and he lifts her up so she can put the star on the tree. So, he had this drive behind doing this workout every day just so he could do that for his granddaughter. He didn't let his age or health, determine that he couldn't do that. Most people say, oh, I'm too old, I'm too weak. So he got that drive behind him of why he was doing it, and did it every day just so he could do that for somebody.
Yeah,
I love that video.
I mean, my biggest inspiration lately of getting in shape and really perfecting yourself now while we're young is I was in a Facebook group the other day, and a gentleman said, I'm 75 years old and I've got 20 some elk points to burn. What would you do? And all the comments are like, well, shit, if I was 75, I'd be doing something different. Like, man, just to put yourself in the position that you're 75 and willing to elk hunt is a feat all in itself. Like, that's motivational, inspirational. And I think about that, and it's like, financially, by the time I'm 65, like that might be the time frame where I could be a sheep hunter, but the only limitation then is going to be health and body. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's not only health and body. I mean, that's a huge plus, but also mindset. Just like my grandpa. I was still taking him out on the boat fishing that, I took him out a few weeks before he passed away. He was 89 years old. He always believed he was young and could do anything. Of course, as time went on, the last couple years, the last probably 4 or 5 years, he definitely slowed down a bit. But I mean, he was still flying it and driving it, 80 years old. he never let his age determine what he could and couldn't do. He often told me he had a lot of friends who retired in their 50s or 60s, and they're in good shape, but they had this mindset of they're older, and they kind of just sat around and did nothing, and a couple of years go by and they pass away. Whereas they could have still had 15, 20 years had they kept on moving and had a mindset of I can do anything.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. What's in motion stays in motion. If you stop moving, you stop grooving, you're gonna sit around and fall apart. It's terrible. I see so many people in their 50s and 60s, and you would think they're 80s and 90s. They sit around, they smoke, they drink, they do this. I mean, I can't. Who am I to say I vape, I drink, go on the weekends? But a lot of people just sit around and wallow in their, I never did this. I should have done that, and now I'm too old. Now I'm just all I can do is sit around and watch TV and sit up bar stool, and talk about how life just brought me down. That's a terrible, terrible way to live. Terrible. It's a slow death.
Yeah. So, we look at how do we get that type of motivation? How do we hold ourselves accountable to that? And, everything starts with the first thought of I can do something. So now you've got the self-belief that you can do it. It's a matter of will you do it, or are you just going to puff out at some point? So
Yeah.
if you've got something in mind, the best thing I could tell anybody, myself included, I need to do a better job of this, is start writing stuff down. So if you're going to go and talk to yourself in front of the mirror and tell yourself that you're worth it and you love yourself and you're fantastic and you're in a great mindset and all these great things, put it in a notebook. A couple years ago, or even last year, one of the best things I was doing to get myself into a better position was I wrote daily notes, daily journal. Not so much as thoughts, feelings, or emotions, but here's what I need to do today. Here's what the weather was today. Here's what the, sun, wind, temperature, everything was. And I'd put a little quote at the bottom of the page that was inspirational, that would help, something I'd kept in mind. And on the next page, you write all the things that you're thankful for, and just make the spreadsheet of the day's activities of what's really on your mind. And if it's a bad day, you better be writing some more, blessings down, some more things you're grateful for, some more things you're thankful for. And I think, the more we talk about it out of the session, it's something I need to do more myself, is to write that stuff down and write down a list of goals that you're going to accomplish today. Not the things work related, not the things that you got to do at home. What's the things that are going to build 30, 60, 90 days, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, and manufacture that life you have in future time, and start deducting the amount of time you have till you get there. What are the number of days that's going to take you to accomplish that goal? If it's buying some fancy object, or you want a new house, new car, new toys, whatever, is how many days do you need to work on it to get there? And start back building this of what you've got left, and how am I going to accomplish that down the road? If you have this goal that you're gonna go to the gym and you're gonna lose 10 or 15 pounds, that's easy. That's truly easy. But going to the gym every single day for 35 to 45 minutes a day or more, or getting your steps in, or eating right and making sure you drink enough water and making sure that you're eating the right meals, that's the hard stuff. And if it comes down to writing down, hey, today's reminder is eat, my daily goals for macros, my proteins, my, eating enough vegetables and fiber, however you want to break it out, is how are you going to do that every single day? And part of it is the accountability. And if it's the accountability in yourself and you've got nobody to look to, you better do everything you possibly can, telling yourself, writing it down, or find somebody to be around, find a partner, find somebody who's willing to help you accomplish that goal. Say, okay, well, you do it, I'm going to do it, and we're going to check back. We're going to check and see on each other. Give it a couple weeks. Let's see what the progress is. Because if that time elapses and you get to your point, you haven't met a single goal and you haven't done anything, your partner's going to look at you and go, wow, all right, we'll do it again. That's all right. We all come in bad times. We'll do it again. And if you do it again, and you still haven't done anything. Now your partner's going to feel like, he's dragging your weight and his weight, and they're going to want to go and find somebody else who's more motivated than you. And, you might miss out on a really good opportunity to be around some good people that way. So accountability in other people, I think, is a huge thing that's helped me, of being around people that won't let you fail, of people
Yes.
that, they're willing to put in the work. They're going to hold you accountable to put in the work, and together you're going to accomplish great things.
100%. Yeah. When you have somebody, when you tell somebody you're going to do something, it's nice to, have them be able to call you on your bullshit. If you're not actually doing what you told them you're going to do. I know if I tell you I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and, time goes by and you see I'm not doing it, you're going to be like, hey, what's going on here? So, yes, you can absolutely do anything on your own, but helping, having someone there to give you accountability, to, congratulate when you meet your goals, to pick you up when you say, I can't do it, to, help give you that motivation. It's huge. It's, you and I talking every week, it makes a world of a difference for me. We don't just talk on Tuesdays, we talk on other days too. But it's, whether it be for, losing weight, whether it be, someone at work, you're trying to achieve a goal at work. It's just, there's so many different ways that having someone in your life can help make you grow 5 times, 10 times, 20 times faster than if you're the only person holding yourself accountable.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can do a lot on your own, but that piece of time on your side, you almost lose track of it, and you're like, oh, well, you get caught up in everyday life, and you almost forget sometimes. But I know that if you're advancing and you're plugging away and you're making progress, well, I starting to feel behind. I don't want to lose my best friend over this. I don't want to, have to try and find somebody else. It helps really hold a candle to your ass and keep things moving.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's right now, for me, it's been tough, getting to the gym. I've been doing a lot of work. Every night I'm working till midnight almost, till I fall asleep. It's, 1 o'clock in the morning. When my alarm, I used to be getting up at 3:57 every morning. I'd go to the gym, I'd get my ass to the gym. But now when that alarm goes off, it's when you only get 2-3 hours of sleep, that's really freaking tough. So, I know I need to get there. It's, so right now I'm working on trying to get to bed earlier so I can get back into that routine. Once you build a routine and you stick with that routine, you do it the same thing every day, it makes it so much easier. But when you fall out of a routine, it makes things a little difficult, but there's a way to manage it. I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. I know I got to do it. Yeah.
It's still January. You still can use the Christmas excuse, because Christmas knocks everybody off when you get a big plate full of Christmas cookies and cakes and sweets and treats. And yeah, it's easy, but at the same time, choice versus instinct. It's, is it survival based, or is it just habitual? And habits are sometimes the easiest work done by the devil, of staying in the wrong place. I'm a terrible lover of chocolate milk, and I know that chocolate milk is the worst thing I should be drinking every day, but maybe if I just have smaller portions and I can still have it, and make sure I make up for it in other places. So, there's some thought that goes behind it, but it's intentional action. You choose.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm a firm, like you said, with the chocolate milk, you love chocolate milk. I'm a firm believer in moderation. I know there's a ton of people out there who, when they talk about diets or doing this or that, they basically say, cut everything out of your life. You got to do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. That's the extreme. Yes, if you want to get somewhere 10 times faster, completely cutting something out 100%, it's going to make it make you see results in whatever you're doing much faster. But life of having no vices or frills or, good things, things you enjoy, that's not a fun life. So I fully believe in, little doses of things, having things in moderation isn't going to kill you.
Moderation and sustainability, put them two hand in hand.
Yes.
It's easy to work every day from 6 a.m. to 12 o'clock at night. I've done that many times, but it's not sustainable. You can do that for 6 to 8 months. You can make a ton of progress. You can absolutely, if you put your mind to something in 6 months and you do it, full-heartedly from 6 to 12, you're going to move something. But 6 to 8 months rolls around, you get a couple hiccups, you get a couple bad things that come into play, and all of a sudden you kind of fall off. And building a business, dieting, food, relationships, everything can be grand and great for a period of time, but it has to be sustainable. So that moderation piece of measuring what's realistic. So that's a huge thing I've definitely tried to do a better job on. And I think now more than ever, I have pushed off doing all of the work in one day. Realistically, it's not going to matter if you do it tonight at 12 o'clock at night or if you do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. If it's a deadline or you got, an absolute crunch of stuff, there's a couple days it's absolutely necessary to do. But every single day for months on end, and not taking time to spend around with family, friends, and enjoying some of life in those periods of times. I know a bunch of people that get suckered into the gym and they just live there and they don't do anything else and they throw away friendships, they throw away relationships, which is great because they're prioritizing some good things. But if they do have good friends and they do have good family and they do have good things around them that they're pushing off, that moderation piece, couple, maybe a year or so down the road, it's like, okay, well, the gym's not as important as this, and now they completely abandon it. And I've done it. I was going to the gym every day there for a couple months, and a couple things happen, you fall off, and trying to get back into the rhythm is hard. So instead of saying you're going to the gym every single day, let's make it realistic. I can go 3 days a week, and I can absolutely do a good bit of effort in a couple of days a week, and it fits into the schedule, and I can still do work, and I can still eat right, I can still spend time around. So now it's time management. And again, it all comes to living intentionally. So you're going to say what things matter and how you're going to achieve those goals, writing it down, holding yourself accountable. There's a lot of moving parts to it, but once you get into the habit and that rhythm of this is how things go, and this is the quality of life I have, it's very hard to give that up. So you're going to stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It all comes down to finding that happy balance of getting to all the things that are important to you. You want to lose weight, you want to, have a successful career, you want to be able to spend time around your family. There's absolutely a way to, make it all happen. I know a lot of people struggle with finding balance with things. Right now, I'm, finding a little trouble balancing all the stuff I got going on, but I've been trying to prioritize of what I have the most purpose behind and kind of spending most time on those things, and the things that aren't too purposeful. Yes, I still got to do them, but spend a little less time and really focus on the purposeful things, I guess. And I'm finding a way to make it all work. I don't need to be up till midnight every night. Close my computer at 9:30. The past couple of nights I've been trying to get into bed by 10. So, and like you just said a couple minutes ago, pushing it off till tomorrow hasn't made any difference. I'm still getting everything done I need to get done. I'm getting to bed and getting a better night's sleep and getting back to the gym. So I'm finding that balance.
I've read it in a handful of books and, success stories, self-help books. It's in there in a couple places, but it's a very simple process of you make a 4 square, and that 4 square can be broken into things you're good at and you love doing, things that you love doing but you're not good at, things that you don't like to do, but you're good at, and things that you don't like to do and you don't want to do. So categorize all your daily things that you have to do in life. And that could be broken into the things that add quality to your life, the things that you like to do, things that, make money, things that are good for your health, things that add happiness and joy. And you can go on and on and on with that list. I've seen it replicated a bunch of different ways, but that Foursquare of starting to categorize where you're spending time, how you're spending time, what you're spending time on, and that, if it doesn't fit in those 4 boxes, then it's probably not worthwhile to do. And if it's not something that brings joy, happiness, or money to your life, then get rid of it.
Yeah, it's amazing, if you really think about it, how much time you could be potentially wasting on things that aren't purposeful to you, aren't making you money, only cause you headaches. And if you cut those couple things out of your life, do you actually need them? Look at it intentionally. Are those things bringing any sort of value to your life? Cut those, maybe you can't cut them all out, but if you cut a couple of them out, that can make a huge difference, and where you can focus more time and energy on the things that are purposeful, that are meaningful, that do bring value. Yeah, I just heard about that square 2 weeks ago when I was in Vegas at that event. I absolutely love that. I fully agree with everything you just said on that. It's yeah.
And there's a bunch of different iterations of that, and to look back on, especially the amount of change I've had to put into my life, oftentimes I look at myself and think that I have not changed. I haven't made enough progress. I haven't done these things. But as a human being, as a younger generation male, I can look back into Snapchat and see some of the places and things that I've done, said, been, and actions I've done that it's like, holy shit, who is that guy? That's not me.
Yeah.
And I've cut out a lot of stuff. And, to make sacrifices is something that nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to give up time. I, for one, there was a couple of years there, I didn't get to hunt. I didn't get to fish. I didn't get to go out and see friends. I put my head to the stone and I just drowned everything I could. And I worked, I think, every day, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. doing something and hustling this, hustling that. And a couple months go by and you're like, well, this isn't what I want to do. I'm going to do something different. Now, to some, there's some consistency flaw there that you can't succeed if you're not consistent. But you can be as consistent as you want to be. But if it's not for the right things, then you aren't getting anywhere any faster than it is to somebody who says, okay, wait a minute. That's not what I want to do. We're not going to spend any more time on that. Let's hone in on the one thing I'm really good at. Or maybe it's, I'm not good at it, but I can do it. And I can do this sustainably. I can do this long term. And the best, similar example of that is just me working in construction. For, not to be selfish, but I have known construction my entire life. It's not what I want to do, but I'm good at it. And I know I can make money doing it. And I know I can add value there. And I can serve others through that. I can help businesses. I can help others. Building a business in construction, to me, has been rewarding in the sense that I do things that other people can't. I know things that other people can't. I'm not being arrogant. That's just saying that's where my value is. That's what I can offer. And in turn, in years from now, I'll get to cash that out and do things that I want to do and still help others. And, through this podcast of being able to talk about these things and talk about life, it is a huge piece of the puzzle in life of making sure that we're doing the right things for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I've just recently been learning, call it the past 6 months of, I never really had much purpose of why I'm doing things. You kind of, I think a lot of people start with it. You kind of just float through life. You just do this or that just because, you feel like this is what I have to do to get where I want to go. Well, think deeper, think into what you really want to see in 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. and just start slowly making changes to make that happen. You're not going to move mountains overnight. You're not going to completely turn your life around overnight. But if you find something that's purposeful, do little steps towards that every day, and it's going to change your life. It's going to make a huge difference in your life. Go ahead.
One month of put 30 days out on the line and suggest that you can pick a small goal. You want to fit into a different size pair of pants. You maybe want to buy a new pair of boots, or whatever the mantra might be. 30 days of working towards that goal, you can achieve it. And 6 months is a very long time to do something consistently. So if you're doing the right things in that 6-month period, you can absolutely make a ton of progress. And if you put one more year to do something, that's a lot can happen in a year. And if we think further, longer term, 5 years, you can live an entire different life in 5 year span. I'm living proof of it, and I know you're living proof of it. And the person you were 5 years ago, looking back on it now, things are pretty good. It's an entirely different world. So with that in mind, 5 years from now, you want to do some goal setting, soul searching, you want to figure some things out, taking action and putting a plan together. I like the roadmap analogy of how am I going to get somewhere? It's going to be piece by piece by piece and mile marker by mile marker. And in 5 years, I'm going to have a vision board. And that vision board may have a new truck or a boat or a house or a wife, or kids, or piece of land somewhere, or a better business, or whatever the goal is. 5 years, it's obtainable. And it's every action you take is going to work towards that. And you have to intentionally say that if it doesn't get me towards that goal, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Going out to the bar every night and hanging out in any local watering hole versus I'm gonna go spend a half hour at the gym. I'm gonna go read a book. I'm gonna go talk to somebody new. I'm gonna go out and change the way I buy groceries, or I'm gonna maybe just dress a little different, or talk a little different, or learn a new language. Like the world is limitless depending on how you want to do it. And if you're doing the wrong things, you just won't get there.
Absolutely. Yeah. You saying about 5 years, you can make worlds of a difference in 5 years. You can make the world of a difference in a year. But it's amazing how fast time flies. So at the same point, you can do nothing. In 5 years from now, your life can be exactly the same, where you're no better, you're no worse. And it's just, the blink of an eye. What the hell have I been doing the past 5 years? Why is life still the same thing? Well, you never took any action to make any differences. You got to take, if there's something you want, you got to take action to make it happen. No one's going to do it for you. You got to just do it. I fully believe everybody can change. I know there's so many people out there that, people don't change. I think to a point, some things deep inside of us don't ever change, but you can change your mindset. You can change your financial situation. You can change your appearance. You can change your life around. For me, a year ago, where I am sitting, I was had a lot of anxiety. I hated being in crowds of people. I was never really a negative person, but I had some self-doubt. I didn't really know who I was or why I'm doing things I wanted to do. And, I realized I needed to make a change. I took action, started figuring out why I am the way I am, figuring out who I, want to be, figuring out what I really actually want out of life. And just, I didn't change anything overnight. Now I can look back and like, holy shit, I'm almost not a completely different person, but my mentality has just shifted so much for the better. And, there was no one thing. It was just making little decisions every day that I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick up and read 2-3 pages of a book tonight, of something constructive, a self-help book. If I'm on Facebook, I'm going to try and just watch videos that are positive, that are about growth, just little things. And it's made a world of a difference just in a year. So 5 years from now, I can't wait to see where I'm at, professionally, all the things we got going on personally, relationship wise, just I'm freaking thrilled, what's going to be 5 years down the road, where a lot of people, they don't know what direction to go. Like, I hope I'm still alive in 5 years. I'm probably going to be in the same position in 5 years. Nothing good is going to happen. It's just make little freaking changes and go after it.
And not to rush to get there is,
Yes.
I've had the shotgun start of let's hurry up and go get it and run through everything to get there, and never take a moment to sit and appreciate how long it took, how hard you worked, how much effort you put into something, and savor every moment. And, we talked earlier about some of those struggles and some of those challenges. To go back to our deer hunt, it wasn't so much as, oh, we just got to hop in the truck and go find the deer. We had to drive 5 miles at 3.5 miles an hour down a rocky, bumpy 2-track, up down hills, ice, and on the edge of a cliff to get there. It took us an hour and a half to drive to the base of the mountain, where we then hiked probably another hour and a half to 2 hours to just go and say that we recovered this deer. So we had 3 or 4 hours invested before we even found the deer that we were questioning if it was even there or not. And those challenges, metaphorically in life, is like, if we're trying to build this, we're going to use the example of building a business. And we've got this goal that we're going to have, millions of dollars at the end of it. We're going to help this many people, and we're going to have the greatest product ever, and we're going to have the best marketing ever. A couple months in, you realize your marketing sucks. You're not helping many people. You're spending more money than you're making, and you don't have the right people, and hiring people is a nightmare. And the process to do this sucks. And it's negative by any stretch, but it's the savoring moment of all of these hardships are teaching us something. They are helping us shape the person we're trying to become, the person that we've said we wanted to be, to build the business that we asked for. And remembering that if it was easy and handed to us, it wouldn't be worth it, number one. Number two, everybody would have it and it wouldn't be valuable. And three, if it didn't really, push us, we wouldn't change, and we wouldn't be better, and we wouldn't enjoy what we've created over all this time. So savoring every moment along the way has definitely been something I've taken away from it too.
Yeah, no, definitely some of the most valuable things in life that you go after. Nothing worthwhile I don't really believe that there's much worthwhile that is going to be easy. Yes, there's some things that are quick and easy that you can go do, and it's going to give you, quick spout of joy, and then it's going to be gone. Chasing after something bigger, challenges along the way, it's going to build character. It's going to give you life experience. You're going to learn so much going after a goal than just about anything else. If you want to achieve something, you want to build something, there's going to be tons of challenges, but you're going to learn. But you also got to remember to take the learning experience from those challenges. You can't just be like, shit, well, that was a real tough time, and just go about it. Stop and think of, what can this teach me? What can I do if this similar situation comes along next time? What can I do differently next time? It's when we're blind to those challenges where we don't make progress, and you just get stuck in a circle and you just do the same thing over and over.
Absolutely. The again, it's kind of getting to the point here, we're closing this out, and you say you want to be a man of success. You want to be a man who's respected. You want to be a person who somebody admires. You want to be a person who's loved. If you're not a person that can give love, you're not a person that can give respect, you're not a person that admires others, you're not a person that can help teach others, and you're going to spend all this time doing something, and it's out of selfishness. Time flies by, and years down the road comes. You look back on all of it, and you get this moment of, was I a bad person, or was I a bad man, or was it for the wrong reasons? It gives you that perception of what things are really worth, and all of those challenges and hardships and struggles and how you handle situations gives you the credibility to be somebody who's respected, loved, admired, and looked up to. And it's a powerful feeling knowing that you can handle a situation the right way, or you can
Mm-hmm.
give somebody some care that never felt cared, or you can offer advice to somebody who really needs it and can help change them around. And by all means, if words that we speak about go out and changes somebody's life so drastically and they become, beyond successful within minutes or days, not that we need to ask anything from it. That's all part of the mission. That's the whole joy of the trip, is sharing what you've learned and helping build somebody else. Because if they see it and they can do it, well, then anybody can do it. Now, not saying anybody can do it means it's less valuable, but if everybody has that option and everybody can go do it, then we all live in a better place, because everybody's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a great person to be around. They're going to be inspirable, or they're going to be inspirational. They're going to, want to give back and help others.
Yeah. When it comes to helping others, the only proper way to truly, truly help someone is to help without ever having any expectation of ever getting anything back. I'm guilty myself. Years ago, I used to try and go out of my way to help somebody, and I hope maybe they'll give me a couple bucks because I stopped and changed their tire on the highway. I picked up a guy and took him to get gas one time on the highway, and it's like, man, he better give me freaking money. That's the wrong reason to be helping people. You help people out of the goodness of your heart, just to make a little difference in their day. If at the end of it they say, fuck anyway, well, you know what? It only makes you a bigger person. So having zero expectations when you're helping somebody, that's the absolute key. Just learning to be selfless and just truly giving back.
Yeah. I mean, helping yourself is the easiest way to help others.
Yeah. Yeah. And that all ties back into finding yourself, loving yourself. You're never going to help anybody. You're not really going to do for much for other people if you can't figure out how to love yourself, give yourself what you need to grow.
Yeah.
So, I highly encourage everybody to do a little soul searching. If you're lost in life, just like I said, just simple thing, just go stare in the mirror. You'll be amazed at thoughts that come across your head, and sit down with those thoughts, think about it. Try to be self-aware and dig. I know I always struggled with thinking about why I feel the way I feel. It's real weird sometimes when you've never thought about your feelings to sit down and be true with yourself. So just stand in front of that mirror, take a look, see what feelings you have, and go from there.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy, but it's honest, and it'll build you. And being honest with yourself is hard enough, but it really defines who you want to be, how you want to be it, what you want to look like.
Yep.
If you can be okay with lying to yourself, you're an evil kind of person. If it hurts a little being honest to yourself, that's good. That means there's a chance. That means you can do something. But if you can look in the mirror and be spiteful and mean, and you're gonna speak that to yourself, Lord help you.
Yeah. No, what you just said about, lying to yourself, I did that for too long. And not that it was in a bad way. It was just kind of in the only way I knew, that I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't feel this. This doesn't make me sad. This doesn't make me upset. I'm just a time. Yeah, it's great to, I highly preach positivity and being happy, but you also got to be real with yourself. You also got to think constructively about your feelings. You got to be real with your feelings. You got to be truthful with yourself of, yeah, that really did freaking make me sad. It's okay to be sad. This really did make me angry. It's okay to be angry. But it's all just, figuring that out, and, don't lie to yourself. It got me nowhere for years. So,
Yep.
that's all I have to say about that for the moment.
No, I think that's good. And I think next topics and next few guests, I look forward to it. And I look forward to see some feedback on some of our talks so far of what people take away from it. Do we need to create new topics based off some inspiration by others, or I think we've got a pretty good list of topics to bring up anyway. So,
Yeah.
our weekly sessions has been some of the best accountability, especially carving out the amount of time to do this. It's not just an hour talk. It's a 4-hour interaction, planning and prepping and creating a product here, and having the dedication and drive to do it with no expectation of return is certainly worthwhile. And I think it's definitely good to document this, and eventually, our entire story of building business, building friendship, sustaining friendship, and personal growth documented in such a way, it's going to be amazing to look at this in 5 years and say, man, these two guys have changed. We don't know who they are. I fully look forward to it. But again, I'm going to savor every moment that we're in right now.
Yes. Yeah. Please do reach out. If you think that we can help you in some way or grow something out of this. This last week, I had someone reach out to me who's been, watching my videos and the podcast, and he loves what we've got going on. Him and I got out, went out for lunch last Friday, and him and I are going to go start a venture now. We're going to start a business group built on positivity, to help other people who are struggling with themselves, struggling to find a community to help lift them up. And, I'm thrilled about that. So all it took was him, sending me a message saying, hey, I really like what you got going on here. What can we do together? How can I help you? How can you help me? And now we're going to help lift each other up and lift more people up. So I love to hear people's feedback. It's been awesome.
Yeah. No, this has been great. And it's definitely, I said it, I think last week or the week before, like we were going to be a little gun shy on this and a little lukewarm and trying to jump to creating a podcast. But at the same time, the action we took and said, okay, there's a bigger picture here than just what we think. I truly believe this third session in, it's a whole new warming opportunity, and it really gives the other 6 days throughout the week some fuel to be able to really roadmap out what we're going to do here and how we're going to do it. I told you earlier, and when we first started the call, I think Sunday was a really dark day and just gloomy inside. I couldn't gather my thoughts. I was all over the place. I was miserable. I was very on edge, and probably like trying to shave a badger's ass. But I came to yesterday and today, and I had some really great phone calls with some really amazing people. Furthermore, a person that I met in a Chick-fil-A, he sat next to me. I was sitting there. I was, in my mind, typing away, trying to get something done. I heard him say one of those code words. He said something about construction software. And I immediately reached to him. I talked to him, asking him questions, got his phone number, talked to him for months now. And he just out of the blue called the other day with some really, really great news. And again, just a really down-to-earth type guy that he's like, I want to help. I want to do something here. And that was some more fuel, because now I've got this roadmap and plan of a job, everything that you got to do in a day. And, we still manage Airmos. We still have a business. We still have families to live. But there's a bigger picture out here. So if I can just carve out a couple hours to be intentional and take action, do something, and just put my nose to it, let's just get it done, I can make something happen. I believe in
Yeah.
myself to do that. I deserve it. I've worked hard. I know what I'm talking about. I believe in success. I believe I am successful. And furthermore, I'm grateful for all of the struggles that I've been through to say, okay, I have made progress despite believing that I have not made progress. And that was a huge moment. So
Yeah. One more quick thing going off of, you sing at Chick-fil-A, you hear someone say, a keyword that piqued your interest. You took a second to say, hey, what do you got going on? Don't be afraid if you're out in public and you hear somebody talking about something. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I sorry, I don't mean to eavesdrop. I heard you talk about this or that. Yes, some people are going to say, mind your own goddamn business. What the hell are you doing? But there's a lot more good people in the world. So just opening your mouth, I've really started doing that recently, and you'll be amazed at the connection you can make just from hearing somebody say something. Take the chance, take the opportunity. Yes, you might get shot down, but you're probably more likely going to, someone's going to be more than happy to talk to you. Or if they don't have time right then, get their number, get their social media, something, connect with them later. So don't be afraid to open your mouth when you hear somebody say something that you might align with.
I said it last week, or I said it the week before, and I'll say it again, is you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can only say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
Absolutely.
Or, excuse me.
100% agree.
Let me re-say that.
Yes.
You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, and you cannot say the right thing to the wrong person.
Yes, that's it. Absolutely. So get rid of that shyness, get rid of that anxiety, and just doing those little things, that's going to help you gain more confidence. So next week, we're going to have our first guest. We got them lined up. Super excited about that. But that's all we've got for tonight. Again, appreciate you. If you listened this far, thank you. Give us feedback, like, share, follow.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate it. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. So we thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.